effectively.
Multilink. Roll with control. Use Multilink. Safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
Turn up the heat with Hot Listing, Nationwide 90FM's new on-air and online classifieds feature. If you have a car for sale, room for rent, or yard sale come up. If you look at work or need stuff. If you provide a service, make it a Hot Listing, Nationwide 90FM's new on-air and online classified segment. Your listing plays again and again. From morning till evening. You sing it, we play it. You say it once, Jamaica hears it all day, every hour. Contact our sales team now at 876-630-1210 or sales at nationwidenewsnetwork.com. Hot Listings on Nationwide 90FM, a new revolution in media.
Do you have a consumer-related issue? Want to learn more about matters concerning you as a consumer? Well, keep it locked to Nationwide 90FM for the Consumer Hour with me, Nora Gay Banton. Weekdays.
Get Dad ready for every job with all the tools he needs this Father's Day. The time by Rapid True Value is
Nationwide time, 5 o'clock.
Label Crafts Jamaica Limited offers exceptional finishes that will make your product extraordinary at an affordable cost. The Temperature by Label Crafts Jamaica Limited, the #1 choice for label printing is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
From the Nationwide News Network, comprehensive, incisive, tough. This is Nationwide at 5.
Good afternoon, I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
In Nationwide News at this hour, no confirmation of Kari Lake as the new U.S. ambassador to Jamaica.
Jamaica has a new ambassador to Japan.
Richard Biles says he's always tried to contribute to Jamaica's development as he reacts to being awarded the Order of Jamaica for his service in business and finance.
Well, I've always felt very passionately about the country and tried my very best to contribute as much as I can in my small way.
JFJ wants clear definition of domestic violence and the criminalization of marital rape to be included in the review of the Domestic Violence Act.
More than 400 assorted rounds of ammunition seized in operations in St. James.
In news from the rest of the world, school to be renamed in honor of the late Sir Garfield Sobers.
Spain to impose border controls against Italy as row over Ceuta migrant influx intensifies.
In sports, Jamaican sprinters hurdlers advance to World Under-20 semifinals in Eugene.
And later in our broadcast, in our cover story at 5:35, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order banning so-called birth tourism, the practice of traveling to another country with the express purpose of giving birth there. We'll get reactions from U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Director of Caribbean Immigrant Services, Erwin Clare.
Taking you around the world at 6:45, the University of Cambridge says it will review its process for appointing senior academics following the resignation of Jason Arde in the midst of a plagiarism row. You'll hear more.
And at 7, it's the comments section. This evening, they're asking, what was your favorite moment from Grand Gala? Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio, and message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693. You can also leave your comments on Instagram at Nationwide 90FM. All these and more as we take you home this Friday afternoon. It's Friday, August 7, 2026.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Kari Lake has not been confirmed as the United States ambassador to Jamaica and now cannot be for at least another 5 weeks. A previous Nationwide News report stated that Lake had been confirmed for the post, closing a gap of more than 18 months in which the U.S. had no Senate-confirmed envoy in Kingston. Siobhan Campbell reports.
Nationwide's report had indicated that the U.S. Senate had voted 51 to 45 in favor of Kari Lake's nomination. But while the U.S. Senate Friday afternoon cleared a block of 74 presidential nominations in a single vote, Lake's name was not among them. The vote was 51 to 47 along party lines. 2 Republicans did not vote. The package included 11 ambassadors, Washington's envoys to Australia, Brazil, Belize, Norway, Cyprus, Albania, Cambodia, Moldova, Tanzania, Equatorial Guinea, and Gambia. Lake cleared the Senate Foreign Relations Committee last month alongside several of those same nominees and has been sitting on the Senate's executive calendar since July 22. But her name was left out of the block put to a procedural vote on Wednesday. It was also left out of Friday's confirmation vote. Under its published calendar, the Senate is now out until September 14. That leaves the United States Embassy in Kingston without a Senate-confirmed ambassador for a 19th month. Career diplomat Scott Renner has been running the mission as Chargé d'Affaires since August last year. The last confirmed ambassador, Jamaican-born Nick Perry, left when President Trump returned to office in January 2025. No public explanation has been given for Lake's exclusion. Her nomination has not been withdrawn, nor has it been rejected. It remains pending and can be called up when the Senate returns. Siobhan Campbell for Nationwide News.
Jamaica has a new ambassador to Japan. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith has appointed career diplomat Ariel Bowen to the Tokyo post, the 7th person to hold it. Mrs. Bowen succeeds Ambassador Shorna K. Richards, who completed her term in Tokyo at the start of the year.
Mrs. Bowen is a career diplomat with more than 30 years' experience in the Foreign Service. She succeeds Ambassador Shorna K. Richards and currently serves as officer in charge at the Consulate General of Jamaica in New York, a post she's held since November last year. Mrs. Bowen brings to this assignment broad diplomatic experience and a deep understanding of the ministry's work and Jamaica's foreign policy priorities. I'm confident that she'll build on the work of Ambassador Richards and further advance the long-standing and mutually beneficial relationship between Jamaica and Japan.
Mrs. Bowen's overseas postings include Minister Counselor at the Jamaican Embassy in Washington with responsibility for trade, economic and diaspora affairs, Counselor at Jamaica's permanent mission to the United Nations in New York, and Attaché at the High Commission in London. At the United Nations, she helped coordinate the 2007 commemoration marking 200 years since the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. At home, she has served as acting undersecretary in the ministry's Diaspora, Protocol and Consular Division, and earlier as Director of Consular Affairs. A past student of Holy Childhood High School, Mrs. Bowen holds a Master of Science in Government from the University of the West Indies, Mona, and a first degree from London South Bank University. She's expected to take up the Tokyo post in a few weeks. Jamaica and Japan established diplomatic relations in 1964.
Outgoing Bank of Jamaica Governor Richard Biles says he's grateful to be recognized with a national honor for his service to the country. Biles has been awarded the Order of Jamaica for his service in business and finance. Shaloy Smichael reports.
Richard Biles is among 7 who are being recognized with the Order of Jamaica, which was announced on Thursday, Jamaica's Independence Day. This is the country's 4th highest national honor. Speaking on Nationwide's Cliff Hughes Online on Friday, Biles says he's always tried to contribute to Jamaica's development.
Well, I've always felt very passionately about the country and tried my very best to contribute as much as I can in my small way. And to see that the country has turned around and said, we recognize your efforts, this is an award for you. I feel very proud and very happy for that.
Biles is one of the most accomplished corporate leaders of his generation. His career in the private sector in the areas of business and finance spans more than 40 years prior to joining the BOJ. He joined the Pan-Caribbean Merchant Bank in the late 1980s, where he rose to the rank of CEO of Pan-Jamaican Investments in 1991 and president of one of its major subsidiaries, First Life Insurance Company. He was appointed president and CEO of the insurer Life of Jamaica LOJ in 2004. LOJ was later renamed Sagicor. Biles led Sagicor for 13 years before retiring in April 2017. He has served as vice president of the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica and on many company boards. His public sector service includes serving as the first private sector co-chairman of Jamaica's landmark Economic Program Oversight Committee, formed to monitor Jamaica's performance under our IMF-supported reform program. Biles says the highlight of his career was working on the Economic Program Oversight Committee at the BOJ.
Well, of course, the first thing that comes to mind is when I was co-chair of EPOC. That was a tremendous experience, about 2.5 years of it. And that was directly in the furnace of helping the country because we're going through very difficult financial times. Those experiences are profound, and I'll always remember them. But of course, my 7 years at BOJ, that was like icing on the cake. You know, a tremendous opportunity to contribute to the country by running this fabulous central bank that we have. And George, let me tell you, it's an outstanding institution, and we should do everything to preserve it and to build it.
Biles has been at the helm of the BOJ since August 2019. He's set to demit office in August. Shaloi Smichael for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, entertainer Mr. Vegas, whose birth name is Clifford Smith, is being recognized for his contribution to reggae music. He's been conferred with the Order of Distinction in the rank of officer. Mr. Vegas says his music journey started with a desire to help his mother.
Well, it's nothing I'd ever dreamed of. This is something that I dreamt of, it'd be a lie. I just wanted to get into the music with a one-hit song to just help my mom, because my mom used to walk around and wash people's clothes and them thing there. And one day I just was like, if I could just get one hit song to just let my mother stop do them thing there, After a man bother up one time after she washed some clothes and the man said, nah, PR. And I was like, I just want to find one hit song, And here I am now, receiving one of the most prestigious awards, in our society.
Mr. Vegas, awardee of the Order of Distinction, officer class. Also among the list is Executive Director and Chairman of Fontana Pharmacy, Kevin O'Brien Chang. Fontana is Jamaica's leading pharmacy chain with locations in Mandeville, Manchester, Montego Bay, St. James, Kingston, St. Andrew, Ocho Rios in St. Anne, and Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland. He will be conferred the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander for his contribution to business development and culture. Chang credits his family for Fontana's success.
First of all, for Fontana, give the credit to my parents who started it, and to my sister Ann Chang, the CEO, and her husband Ray Tarian, who is the COO. I think they deserve more credit than me about Fontana. I'm going to tell you the truth. I think my parents were the ones who had the vision, started out, in those days, who knew to do the work. It worked. And then my sister and brother-in-law, who worked in Canada for a while, came back and they took it to another level. So I do believe they deserve more credit than me about Fontana.
Kevin O'Brien Chang, awardee of the Order of Distinction, Commander Class.
A clear definition of domestic violence and the criminalization of marital rape are among the key reforms the human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice JFJ wants included in the government's review of the Domestic Violence Act. JFJ Executive Director Michael Jackson made the point in a video posted on JFJ's Instagram page on Wednesday.
The Act doesn't define what is domestic violence, and without that definition, it really limits how one views what types of protection orders are to be issued. The issue of marital rape, it's not within the Domestic Violence Act, but that is something that we really do need to get rid of from our law. In 2018, there was a Joint Select Committee report that recommended marital rape to be removed. We heard the Foreign Minister some time ago, a few years ago, saying that this year is going to be the year that the marital rape provisions will be removed. It's now 2026, it has not yet been removed.
The Joint Select Committee, set up to review the Domestic Violence Act, met last on July 30. Lawmakers have pledged to complete a comprehensive review of the legislation during the new parliamentary year. Ms. Jackson says the revised law should also establish a clear protocol for obtaining protection orders.
Some of JFJ's clients for whom we provide support, you go to one court, you hear that this is the procedure that you must follow to get an occupational protection order. You go to another court, it's another procedure. We can't say that there is administration of justice when there's inconsistency. The issuing of the protection and occupation orders, it takes far too long, and we need to remedy that with some sense of urgency. Though the penalties for protection order was increased, it really does not extend to the breach if one were to do that for the occupation order. So those inconsistencies need to be dealt with the comprehensive review of the Domestic Violence Act.
Michael Jackson, Executive Director of JFJ. You're listening to Nationwide News at 5. More news after these.
It's IQ Optical's sizzling summer sale. For this month only, get 50% off lenses when you purchase a frame. Kids get free lenses with a purchase of a frame. Make the intelligent choice with IQ Optical. Conditions apply. The time by IQ Optical is
5:14.
Termites, rodents, or birds infesting your home or office? Call Rentokil Initial, the pest expert, at 876-926-4236 for a free pest assessment island-wide. The temperature brought to you by Rentokil Initial is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius in Kingston and Montego Bay.
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all-inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Continuing the news, police in St. James seized 430 assorted rounds of ammunition and 1 firearm during a series of operations in the parish on Thursday. The first seizure took place at Fairview in Montego Bay at about 2 p.m. Robian Williams reports.
Reports are that lawmen assigned to the National Strategic Anti-Gang Division, NSAD, were conducting an operation at Fairview when they stopped a Toyota motor truck. A search of the vehicle reportedly produced 5 plastic bags with ammunition on the floor behind the passenger seat. The ammunition was allegedly counted in the presence of the driver and amounted to 228 7.62 mm rounds. The driver was taken into custody. In a simultaneous operation, another team from the NSAD intercepted a white Toyota Voxy motor vehicle on Fairfield Main Road. During a search of the vehicle, the police reportedly found a box wrapped in duct tape on the floor. The box allegedly contained 209 mm rounds of ammunition. Both the driver and passenger in the Toyota Voxy were taken into custody. The third seizure occurred at about 8:30 p.m. in Barrett Town. The St. James police were carrying out curfew enforcement activities in the town when they reportedly saw a group of men standing near an abandoned premises. The men's behavior aroused the suspicion of the patrol team, who attempted to accost them. However, on the approach of the police, the men allegedly ran in separate directions. The area was subsequently searched and 1 Browning single-action firearm with an affixed magazine containing 2 9mm cartridges was found between 2 banana trees. No one was arrested in relation to the seizure. Robian Williams for Nationwide News.
The mandatory purchase of khaki shirts from a St. Catherine-based high school is causing frustration for at least one guardian of a student at the institution. Parents and guardians have been informed by the school administration that they have to purchase the uniform shirt exclusively from the school. Each khaki shirt bearing the school's crest costs $3,000. Additionally, the school is also not selling the matching khaki pants. Nicola is the guardian of one student. She told Nationwide on Friday that parents aren't being given the option to only purchase the crest.
They told us that they have to buy the shirt from the school, which is a khaki shirt, because they put the crest on the shirt. I said, why can't we just
buy the crest?
Buy the crest?
Mm-hmm.
No, we have to buy the shirt. Here's the shirt for a size 12 shirt. $3,000.
Wow.
When I purchased a suit, for the child. It's like 3,000 something for the two because I know where I bought it and they gave me discount.
Nicola says she has written to the Ministry of Education about the matter, seeking intervention. In the letter, Nicola informed the ministry that she was able to purchase a full uniform set for just over $4,000 from a retail outlet. She says the shirt in those suits at the retail outlet costs just over $1,600. Yet she says one shirt with an attached crest at the school is costing $3,000. According to Nicola, the move by the school places an unnecessary financial burden on parents and guardians. Nicola says she's pushing back against the mandatory purchase policy at the high school.
I don't have a problem if the school wants to increase their income, you know. I don't have a problem with it. I know things and money, it's tight for everybody, every entity. But it can't be compulsory, and that's what the problem I am having as a person, as an individual person. You cannot all make up, I'm not living in an autocratic country or a communist country, I live in a democratic country, freedom of choice. And it's khaki uniform, it's not even saying it's a special uniform, it's khaki uniform.
Nicola, a Guardian, speaking on Nationwide's The Consumer Hour on Friday morning.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
In Barbados, the Bay Primary School, attended by national hero Sir Garfield Sobers, is set to be renamed in his honor as part of a broader effort to preserve the cricket legend's legacy for future generations. Prime Minister Mia Mottley made the announcement on Friday as Parliament paid tribute to Sir Garfield. Prime Minister Mottley revealed that more than 300 signatures had already been submitted to the Cabinet Office in support of renaming the school the Sir Gary Sobers Primary School. The proposal is expected to go before the National Honours Advisory Council.
Spain will impose border controls on all travel from Italy as a row between the two European Union countries intensifies. The measure, which will last for a month, comes a week after Italy introduced similar measures following an influx of about 78,000 migrants from neighboring Morocco into the Spanish exclave. The disagreement intensified on Friday after Spain demanded Italy reverse its restrictions by Sunday, prompting Rome to say it will not accept ultimatums. Instead, in its response, Italy says it planned to keep border checks in place until at least August 15.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose Assembly and Supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, Kari Lake not confirmed as yet as the new U.S. ambassador to Jamaica.
Ariel Bowen named as Jamaica's new ambassador to Japan.
JFJ wants clear definition of domestic violence and the criminalization of marital rape to be included in the review of the Domestic Violence Act. I'm Robianne Williams.
And I'm Mahiri Stewart.
You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com, and please feel free to join the Nationwide Family Club at patreon.com/Nationwide News Network. News next, tomorrow morning at 6.
It's hard-hitting. It's riveting. It's the much-talked-about cover story during Nationwide at 5. Here Cliff Hughes get to the heart of the story of the day. Cover Story aired 5:30 weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Nationwide at 5. Talk radio at its best. Cover Story.
Cover Story is brought to you by JTA Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Multilink, roll with control. Use Multilink, safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
This is not just a radio show. This is a lifestyle takeover. Ready to level up your home and your mindset? Tune in to the Design Studio with Karen Booker, your design diva, where bold ideas, refined interiors, and powerful living collide. We're bringing you next level interior design, real decor fixes in What Would Karen Do? Transformation secrets inside Design Lab, and mindset elevation in Thrive 360. Because this is more than design, this is lifestyle. From stunning home tours to confidence building conversations, we're designing rooms and redefining success. Catch the Design Studio Saturdays at 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM and streaming live on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live. Design bold, live elevated, thrive fully.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Good evening, welcome to your sports report. I'm Oreen Buchanan. Now, Jamaica's sprint and hurdles contingent produced another impressive showing on day 3 of the 5-day World Athletics Under-20 Championships at Hayward Field on Friday, with several athletes securing places in the semi-finals of their respective events. In the women's 100-meter hurdles, Akila Bell booked her place in the next round after finishing 4th in Heat 5 in 13.46 seconds. Joining her in the semi-final was Tiana Marshall, who delivered one of the standout performances of the opening round by winning Heat 6 in 13.10 seconds. The men's 110 hurdles also saw 2 Jamaicans progressing. Marquise Page finished 2nd in Heat 4 with a time of 13.34 to qualify comfortably, while Taja Neal Gordon advanced after placing 2nd in Heat 5 in 13.49. Jamaica's women sprinters were equally impressive in the 200 meters, with both athletes topping their heats. Sashana Johnson stormed to victory in Heat 1, clocking a personal best 22.95 to secure automatic qualification for the semi-finals. Shania Douglas was even quicker, winning Heat 3 in 22.88. There was mixed fortune for Jamaica in the men's 200 meters. Fresh from claiming the silver in Thursday's 100-meter final, Gary Card saw his hopes of a sprint double end when he was disqualified from Heat 3. However, Nathaniel Martin kept Jamaica's challenge alive by finishing 3rd in Heat 6 in 21 seconds flat to book his place in the semi-finals. Distinguished track and field coach Michael Carr has been awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of officer for his outstanding contribution to sports, particularly athletics. Carr is among 4 Jamaicans recognized for their achievements in the field of sport as part of this year's National Honors and Awards. The other recipients are Howard McIntosh, David Sanguinetti, and Donald Walters. As head coach at Wolmer's Girls School, he is credited with helping to shape the early career of world and Olympic champion Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price during her junior years. Carr is currently serving with Jamaica's national team at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, where he continues to mentor the country's next generation of athletes.
It is an honor when you're recognized by your country. It means that you have been doing something that the country appreciates, and I guess also the world. And it's good to be recognized when you have the chance of hearing, seeing, and feeling the recognition. I mean, after over 40 years in the sport, it's a good feeling. It's also motivating to say, keep going until. So once again, thanks to the powers that be that saw it fit to hand me such a recognition.
Michael Carr. Meanwhile, McIntosh has been awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander for his contribution to sport. Sanguinetti received the Badge of Honor for meritorious service for his service to sports, particularly in the area of tennis, and Walters was also presented with the Badge of Honor for meritorious service in recognition of his contribution to sports. Now to some cricket news, as former Jamaica and West Indies batsman Chris Gayle joined the Jamaica Kingsmen sponsorship group ahead of the 2026 Caribbean Premier League, which starts in just over half an hour in St. Vincent. Gale's Rich Rum will be the exclusive rum supplier for the Kingsmen home games during the 2026 and the 2027 CPL seasons. Atishai Mansingh, head of operations at Jamaica Kingsmen, stated that the self-styled Universe boss was happy to be part of the team once again.
To have a home-based team being backed by a home-based product is something that I think is very rare, and to be able to get somebody like the Universe Boss himself in a full circle moment to come back and be a part of a team that's been missing since the heartbeat of himself being the heartbeat of the team. I think Chris Gayle, his name is something that echoes not just across the Caribbean but across the world. He's put Jamaica on the map in many, many countries that people wouldn't even know the difference between West Indies and Jamaica.
Gayle captained the Jamaica Talawas for 2 CPL seasons during his 5-year stint. According to Mansing, this partnership was one in the making for a long time.
It was very easy answer and a very easy negotiation, if I must say, because to have somebody like Chris Gayle and his team a part of the Jamaica Kingsmen team in terms of coming across for patrons on match days, this is something that we're taking very seriously and that we're very excited about, because when you look on this bottle right in front of me and you see product of Jamaica, that's exactly what the team is about. We're about being the product of Jamaica and giving Jamaicans an opportunity that we've been missing since 2019.
Atisai Mansing. Well, that's all we have for your sports report. We'll be back at 6:10 p.m. Until then, stay tuned, stay glued, and stay locked in to Nationwide at 90 FM.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
For all your custom framing, printing, graphic design, and purchase of art, Make It Frame Art Jamaica Limited, serving you for over 40 years. The time by Frame Art Jamaica is...
It's 5:30.
From the vibrant waterfront setting of Ocho Rios Bay Beach to the breathtaking seascape of Laughing Waters, discover exceptional venues for your special events. The temperature by the Urban Development Corporation is...
31 degrees in the capital, Kingston. 31 degrees out west in Montego Bay.
Getting ready for back to school is as easy as KB. Shop at Kingston Bookshop from July 13, 2026 to September 5, 2026 for your chance to win big in our back to school promotion. Spend just $5,000 before GCT, shop online or in-store and you could win $200,000 cash, an HP laptop or a Samsung Galaxy Tab S10. Pick up in-store or shop online today. It's back to school the easy way, only at KB.
Discover something new. Discover the KB difference.
Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
None of mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking beats.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio. My team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
The news cycle doesn't end on Friday. It needs perspective. That's why every Sunday at midday, Nationwide 90 FM presents The Week That Was. A clear, informed review of the top stories that shaped the past week, what really mattered and what lies ahead. No noise, no theatrics, just analysis, context, and clarity. The Week That Was. Sundays at 12 p.m. Understand the news before the week begins. Only on Nationwide 90 FM, a new revolution in media.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Lone vibes, lone laughs, and lone entertainment. Come on the road with we. Cause when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. We forget to big up my DJ. DJ Jerome, the shell boss, I'm gonna make it bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tune. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Good afternoon, listeners and viewers. Welcome. It's time for the cover story as part of our Nationwide at 5 package. I'm your host, Siobhan Campbell. I hope you're enjoying the Friday and I hope the weekend brings you joy. And again, a special shout out to those joining in on YouTube. That is NNN Radio Live. Those who want to engage a little more with the discussions there, please come on and join up. Today we have two very interesting topics, both now here in 5 in the cover story, and later we have another interesting topic for 625. But let's focus now on the matter of birthright citizenship, because the U.S. president again trying to curb that practice over there in the United States, where he has signed an executive order banning so-called birth tourism, the practice of traveling to another country with the expressed purpose of giving birth there. The order signed on Thursday is one of two targeting birthright citizenship. Mahiri Stewart tells us more.
In the United States, birthright citizenship is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. It provides that everyone born in the U.S. is a citizen regardless of their parents' immigration status. But in one of the orders signed on Thursday, Trump lays out categories of non-citizens whose children are not eligible. That order prohibits the automatic citizenship of babies born in the United States to two non-citizen parents where one of the parents is a member of a foreign terrorist group, a foreign government employee, has attempted to gain citizenship through fraudulent means, or is living in the U.S. territories where citizenship is not conferred by federal statute. The second order bans birth tourism. While announcing the executive orders from the Oval Office, Trump said hundreds of thousands of babies have been born through birth tourism in the U.S. The Migration Policy Institute, a nonpartisan research group, has said the most expansive census-based estimate accounts for about 22,000 to 26,000 babies every year. According to the Institute, government data shows there were 9,600 births to mothers with foreign addresses in 2024. President Trump says birthright citizenship has become a big business that his administration will not tolerate.
What's happening now, people are building businesses around it. From wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in, and we're not going to let it happen.
He says the new work orders will allow a more forceful clampdown.
We're cracking down very big crackdowns, and this will give us the right to do it in a much more forceful manner. But they've taken birthright citizenship and they've made a joke out of it. And we're actually the only country of size, I think just about the only country, period, that does birthright citizenship. I thought we were going to win it at the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, we had a bad decision, very unfair decision. Our country suffers because of it, and we're ending it a different way.
The signing of the orders comes weeks after the Supreme Court shut down Trump's previous attempt to overturn the right. It's a move Jamaican diaspora immigration experts who spoke with Nationwide News after the Supreme Court ruling in early July saw coming. Immigration consultant Erwin Clare told Nationwide this morning he believes the ruling to uphold birthright citizenship would lead to stricter immigration enforcement by the Trump administration.
We must not forget that this administration is going to just rest on this decision and not continue to get at their objective. And so we urge our community to continue to lobby, to be aware of their surrounding and understanding, because we expect to see now pushback in other areas, more screenings, more in-depth screenings of individuals, probably even a decrease in humanitarian visas.
Mahiri Stewart for Nationwide News.
Thank you, Mahiri. Well, Assistant to the President and White House Staff Secretary Will Scharf says the State Department will deny visas for people it believes are traveling to the U.S. to give birth. Scharf was speaking at the signing of the executive orders in the Oval Office on Thursday.
This order takes a number of different actions intended to combat those sorts of organized practices. We look very heavily at denying visas to people that we have reason to believe are coming here for that purpose. Visas both for putative parents, but also for the people organizing these rings. There's also obviously a law enforcement component. We'll have a full fact sheet released on this soon, but what we're doing is taking legally validated means that are clearly within our disposal and targeting them square on to this birth tourism industry.
That's Will Scharf, White House Staff Secretary. Well, joining us to discuss further is U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee and Director of Caribbean Immigrant Services, Erwin Clare. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Thanks as well for having me.
Erwin, are you there?
Good afternoon. Yes, I am. Good afternoon.
Good to hear from you both. So starting with you, Attorney Opal Lee, just recently the Supreme Court blocked a previous order from the Trump White House trying outright to just ban birthright citizenship. And it seems he's trying to get, well, he said it quite clearly, that this is him attempting to get it over the post another way. Isn't this a violation of the spirit of the law, if not exactly the letter of it?
Oh, we all know this, but I am not surprised one bit, or I think no immigration practitioner is at all surprised, because we know President Trump doesn't give up so easily. So I think this is another shot of him trying to narrow it down. But in my opinion, I think both of these will likewise fail.
So you expect that this as well to be challenged?
Oh, absolutely.
And what about you, Erwin Clare? Are you along a similar lines? Is this a violation of the spirit of the law, if not the letter?
I don't think they understand that or even care about that. It is obviously a slow day in their onslaught on migration to the United States, because to use this as some effort to stir up the pot again, because as Ms. Lee rightfully said, they do not accept or appreciate the fact that they were struck down by the Supreme Court. And when they begin to confiscate numbers about hundreds and thousands of persons coming through, that doesn't support the fact. 9,000 persons on a good day for them is 22,000. And at the same time, while this is going on, what's very interesting to note is that there are already mechanisms in place to manage this situation. I mean, so this is not something. This is almost like a Christopher Columbus moment here. In other words, they already have the tools to prohibit persons from coming in for that purpose. They've already outlawed that. And let's not forget something. Whilst this is all going on, President Trump is also pushing his Trump card for individuals to gain access in the United States. So, so it's like, I don't know, it's another, as far as I'm concerned, another mechanism to demonstrate to those who are hyped on this whole situation of blocking persons from coming to the United States. That's what it comes down to.
And I'm glad you went there, Erwin Clare, because that was on my mind as well, because it just recently, Trump made it quite clear that he's fine if you're wealthy and well off, if you want to somehow buy your way to a U.S. citizenship. And here he, out of the other side of his mouth, is suggesting, people are making good money and making a big business to this, selling this to wealthy people. Isn't there a bit of a contradiction there?
Again, they do not care. So to say contradiction to them is be like a foreign word. And wealthy and pregnant as well. You can come into the United States. I mean, so again here, this has been the order of the policy by this administration as it relates to migration. And when you look through it and you peel away everything, it is just an onslaught on certain sectors of society. You know, there's something to be said about, you know, the type of immigrant that they want in the United States, and that has been demonstrated. There's facts to that that justifies that as well.
Openly, what about you? Because I understand what Erwin is saying. I don't want to be outright suggesting that this policy is racially motivated or otherwise motivated toward a certain demographic. But when you have a circumstance where the president himself has suggested that he's willing to provide what I think is $1 million a visa, get into the United States free, well, not getting at a certain cost, of a significant cost, and clear that he's open to wealthy people buying their way into the United States, only to now suggest that, well, you can do that, but you can't come here as a birthright, as he put it, tourist, where you have now paid money to be brought here, as he said, a lucrative business that he wants to stamp out.
But absolutely, and I don't think anybody at all would think or disagree with the statement, because I think the administration have made this abundantly clear. Look at even the countries that are being, or they're imposing the bar on, or for them to pay a certain bond, a $20,000 bond, which is mostly those African countries. I mean, it's really, the line is written. And for example, even the immigrant petitions recently, you know, there is a block or immigrant visa pause right now where they're saying they don't want people to come in who are likely to become a public charge. And look what the proposal is, for them to post a $100,000 bond, and that bond for them to enter the United States as an immigrant, and that money would only be returned after that person has become a U.S. citizen. Now, if you ask me, if they're really and truly supposed to get their way and put that $100,000, you're fighting for your mom, your sister, your brothers, your spouses, and they would have to come with that $100,000 U.S. dollars, mind you, who really and truly would be able to come up with that? And that alone is showing they're excluding certain people or certain in income brackets that they're just not welcomed here.
We're up on a break, ladies and gentlemen. Please stay with us.
Visit Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore, for all your prescription needs, gifts, personal care, household, and stationery items. The temperature by Marshall's Pharmacy, Greater Portmore is...
It's 31 degrees Celsius here in the capital city, Kingston, and it's the same out west in Montego Bay.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall.
Up a Total Tools.
Weed whacker figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand.
Total Tools.
We rent them, sell them, and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools, located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to the cover story. We are talking two new Trump executive orders targeting again this notion of birthright citizenship. One, essentially blocking what the Trump administration calls birth tourism, where people travel to the United States for the sake of having a child in the U.S. and as a result getting automatic U.S. citizenship. We have U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee alongside Director of the Caribbean Immigrant Services, Erwin Clare. So, Erwin Clare, on the same matter of birth tourism, because it does happen. I know that people do sometimes travel to the United States for the sake of having a child, so that child will benefit from U.S. citizenship. But the scale of the problem, as suggested by Trump, is simply not there. And then the further nature of using that child as a supposed anchor for them themselves to get U.S. citizenship also has significant hurdles, does it not?
It certainly has. And let's understand this now. I said to you that there are already tools there that they can utilize. Understand that a person who comes to the United States, or let's say Jamaica, and for some reason, I'm in no position to say the person came there deliberately to that. That's not my prerogative. They come to the United States and a child is born, because you must understand too, you have emergency situations. So yes. How would they work that out? All right? And we can use the situation of the United States soccer star recently. We claimed him, he actually wanted to leave the country, but he was born in the United States, and so he was able to represent the United States. We claimed him because that's a benefit. Okay, what I'm saying here is this. When that person comes to the United States and have a child goes into a hospital, the laws it is right now, they go through emergency, the benefits are there for them. That's the rules as it is in most states that I'm aware of. Now, in most situations, that parent or that woman pays for her hospitalization because she then also realized, so if she doesn't do that, her visa could be at risk. Understand it, ladies and gentlemen. There is no automatic process for that mother to gain any United States benefits of citizenship for another 21 years.
Yes.
All right? Now, more than likely, that child will be residing in Jamaica, have the ability to enter the United States back and forth. Now, we could say that that child will now have access to benefits in the United States, but that is the law. But sometimes we get this impression that having this child born in the United States, that somehow the mother and probably the mother's family and community, all of a sudden start accessing benefits from the United States. Those situations are being blown out of proportion. Now, do I encourage or do I say it's a person that they should come here and do that? That's not my prerogative either. That's the call of the individual. But you must follow the rules and regulations. There are already tools in place for the United States to utilize to snuff that out, to prosecute those situations. So my question of them said, and this as I close, is this. Is the administration really fighting birth tourism, or is birth tourism being used as a vehicle for them to reopen this constitutional question that the Supreme Court settled 5 weeks ago? So for me, it's a ruse.
But I think the president was quite clear that he did not agree with the ruling and he's trying to find another way. You have to be you have to appreciate that about Donald Trump. He's very transparent with his actions. He said it in the clip. Well, the court said, no, I don't agree, so I'm going to find another way.
But you're being kind. And you're being kind. And while being transparent, he's also... And he doesn't like to lose. There you go.
So openly, because let's look at the numbers. According to Pew Research, 33 countries, including the United States, have these birthright laws where you get automatic citizenship in the country once you're born there. But yet the president is suggesting that this is some rare... I think he said it outright. He believes the U.S. is the only country in the world with this scenario. And it's simply not true, is it?
Oh, no. We know that. And we know our president, how do I say this very kindly? He has a way of saying things that sometimes doesn't exist just to make his point look a little bit better. But, to be quite fair, here's the thing. That, the authorities to regulate visa entry, right, into the U.S., they do. The administration do have that authority. But the fact is, and as Erwin just said, denying the citizenship once a child is actually born here is a whole different story. It conflicts with the 14th Amendment, and no matter, I would say Donald Trump just does not like to lose. He just does not like when the courts rule against him. He's like a crybaby, and he doesn't like that. And so he's going to try and do everything to at least get that last win or that victory. But right now, yes, they do. They can curtail the, or go ahead and attack. So I can just, for our listeners out there, just be careful now, because if you're going to apply for a visiting visa, which they have always been doing this anyway, as Erwin said earlier, but if you have a stomach and it's a little bit showing, more likely than not, you're going to be denied.
And under the circumstances, Opal, and as I believe Erwin also agreed, that this most likely is going to be challenged on its own by various groups.
Yes.
Under the circumstances, as a person traveling to the United States, where, as you say, they might be showing, they might be pregnant, and they may have the intention of having the child in the United States, do they go ahead with their plans under the circumstances now, or do they reconsider? Opal,
is that question directed to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, no, they should definitely still try. Remember though, when you're coming in as a tourist, right, a visitor, and you're knocking on the entry of, for the door, at the door of the U.S., CBP does reserve the right to let you in or not, right? And so if they feel that they don't want to let you in, really and truly there's not much you can do more than just turn back, and they do not have to allow you. So I would say if you're entering with a bona fide reason, whether you're pregnant or not, and you be very truthful about what your intent is. So if, for example, you have a matter that you need to look after, it's a business matter or a family emergency, yes, by all means. But I'm just telling you, do not get your hopes up, because the minute they find, and do not lie, if they ask you, I don't even know, because if they ask you if you're pregnant, you cannot lie, because guess what? That is now going to be a reason for them to find that you did a misrepresentation. And so while you may be allowed in the U.S., and if you have the child here, yes, the child will be a U.S. citizen because it's already ingrained in the 14th Amendment, there will be significant consequences to you and result in your visa being denied because you did lie to them or misrepresent. And remember, too, the fact about one more thing is how is that child, that birth, was paid for if you use government funds. And this is not new at all, because for years, clients have come to me where their visa was canceled because, and when they go to the U.S. Embassy and try to get it back, they ask them, how was the birth paid for? So if you pay for it using U.S. government funds, you can really and truly bet that you're not going to get another visa. So you will have to show that you paid for it through either your personal insurance or your personal fund, and make sure you keep a receipt, or if you use government funds to pay for that birth, make sure you have an agreement in place to show that you are repaying same.
Oh dear. I don't like to, Erwin, this one is for you. I don't like to really appeal to sophistry on a lot of things, but under the circumstances, and we accept, I think many here in Jamaica and around the world, they accept that there is significant value, both monetarily and socially, to having U.S. citizenship, and it is broadly sought after. I don't think anybody can disagree with that assessment. But under the circumstances, how the Trump administration is approaching the question of citizenship, isn't it kind of cheapening it in a way? Isn't it kind of rendering it no more than a commodity that they can barter and trade with?
Well, Donald Trump prides himself as being a businessman, so it is from that perspective. He's not going to be appealing to your morals or to your human aspect of your life. It's about how money gets exchanged here and who gets most of it. And he likes to be on the side where he collects, where he likes to be on the side where he's doing the collection. But there's another side to it here that I see as being problematic, because as Opal said, if these guys start asking women if they're pregnant, now you're bringing another factor of discrimination. And I don't know how this will play out, but you could now begin to disenfranchise a significant part of our society. And women votes and women issues are topical issues in the United States. So you could also now find that you'll have significant legal support here. The ALCLU will be on this without doubt, because I saw them on TV today already talking about that. So, there'll be different factors here. And again, it's another trial balloon. The president is known for that, to bring in lawsuits and pass issues like this that they know goes nowhere. But one of the damage that they always do is create fear and create havoc. And that is also part of their mandate.
That is Director of Caribbean Immigrant Services, Erwin Clare. We also had with us U.S. Immigration Attorney Opal Lee. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We take a break, listeners, come back with the headlines, and then we are here again at 6:25.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 7 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come on, let's go back in time.
this magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 7 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Get ready this Saturday for the PBCJ Watch Party, a celebration of Jamaica's festival heritage. Nationwide 90 FM will be at 5 to 9 South Odeon Avenue in Halfway Tree, on location from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. to bring an evening packed with the nation's most memorable festival moments through music and television.
Oh, 22 years salute. We are no more little youth.
So tune in this Saturday, August 8th from 6 to 9 p.m. and experience the Festival and Things edition of the PBCJ Watch Party. Hear live performances from four-time festival song winner Roy Rayan, Nexus Performing Arts Company, plus the unforgettable Owen Blacker Ellis and Dion Silvera. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
We put the faith and trust in the Father. He's keeping us alive, so give thanks and praise. Oh God, once again.
Sunday is a day for reflection and praise, so start it with Lutheran Ministries in Jamaica.
God, we know you're gonna bless us.
Listen to Nationwide 90 FM every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. for the Lutheran Hour. Brought to you by the Lutheran Ministries Jamaica, located at 33 Courtney Walsh Drive in Kingston. That's the Lutheran Hour, Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media.
Visit or contact the Jamaican Lutheran Hour at 33 Courtney Walsh Drive, Kingston 10. WhatsApp or call 876-348-9085. Find us on Facebook at Jamaica Lutheran Hour or email lutheranh@gmail.com.
This is not just a radio show. This is a lifestyle takeover. Ready to level up your home and your mindset? Tune in to the Design Studio with Karen Booker, your design diva, where bold ideas, refined interiors, and powerful living collide. We're bringing you next level interior design, real decor fixes in What Would Karen Do? Transformation secrets inside Design Lab, and mindset elevation in Thrive 360. Because this is more than design, this is lifestyle. From stunning home tours to confidence building conversations, we're designing rooms and redefining success. Catch the Design Studio Saturdays at 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM and streaming live on YouTube at Nationwide 90 FM Live. Design bold, live elevated, thrive fully.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is...
A minute after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Kari Lake has not been confirmed as the United States ambassador to Jamaica and now cannot be for at least another 5 weeks. A previous Nationwide news report stated that Lake had been confirmed for the post, closing a gap of more than 18 months in which the U.S. had no Senate confirming envoy in Kingston. Nationwide's report had indicated that the U.S. Senate had voted 51 to 45 in favor of Lake's nomination. But while the U.S. Senate Friday afternoon clearing a block of 74 presidential nominations in a single vote, Lake's name was not among them. The vote was 51 to 47 along party lines. 2 Republicans did not vote. Lake cleared the Senate Foreign Relations Committee last month alongside several of those same nominees and has been sitting on the Senate's executive calendar since July 22. But her name was left out of the block put to a procedural vote on Wednesday. It was also left out of Friday's confirmation vote. Under its published calendar, the Senate is now out until September 14. That leaves the U.S. Embassy in Kingston without a Senate-confirmed ambassador for a 19th month. Jamaica has a new ambassador to Japan. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith has appointed career diplomat Ariel Bowen to the Tokyo post, the 7th person to hold it. Mrs. Bowen succeeds Ambassador Shorna K. Richards, who completed her term in Tokyo at the start of this year. Mrs. Bowen's overseas postings include Minister Counselor at the Jamaican Embassy in Washington with responsibility for trade and economic diaspora affairs, Counselor at Jamaica's permanent mission to the United Nations in New York. At the United Nations, she helped coordinate the 2007 commemoration, marking 200 years since the abolition of the transatlantic slave trade. At home, she has served as acting undersecretary in the ministry's Diaspora, Protocol and Consular Division, and earlier as the Director of Consular Affairs. A clear definition of domestic violence and the criminalization of marital rape are among the key reforms human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice JFJ wants included in the government's review of the Domestic Violence Act. JFJ Executive Director Mikel Jackson made the point in a video posted on JFJ's Instagram page on Wednesday.
The Act doesn't define what is domestic violence, and without that definition, it really limits how one views what types of protection orders are to be issued. The issue of marital rape, it's not within the Domestic Violence Act, but that is something that we really do need to get rid of from our law. In 2018, there was a Joint Select Committee report that recommended marital rape to be removed. We heard the Foreign Minister some time ago, a few years ago, saying that this year is going to be the year that the marital rape provisions will be removed. It's now 2026, it has not yet been removed.
The Joint Select Committee set up to review the Domestic Violence Act last met on July 30. Lawmakers have pledged to complete a comprehensive review of the legislation during the new parliamentary year. Ms. Jackson says the revised law should also establish a clear protocol for obtaining protection orders.
Some of JFJ's clients for whom we provide support, you go to one court, you hear that this is the procedure that you must follow to get an occupational protection order. You go to another court, it's another procedure. We can't say that there is administration of justice when there's inconsistency. The issuing of the protection and occupation orders, it takes far too long, and we need to remedy that with some sense of urgency. Though the penalties for protection order was increased, it really does not extend to the breach if one were to do that for the occupation order. So those inconsistencies need to be dealt with the comprehensive review of the Domestic Violence Act.
Mikel Jackson, Executive Director of JFJ. The mandatory purchase of khaki shirts from a St. Catherine-based high school is causing frustration for at least one guardian of a student at the institution. Parents and guardians have been informed by the school administration that they have to purchase the uniform shirt exclusively from the school. Each shirt bearing the school's crest costs $3,000. Additionally, the school is also not selling the matching pants. Nicola is the guardian of one student, and she told Nationwide on Friday that parents aren't being given the option to only purchase the crest.
They told us that they have to buy the shirt from the school, which is a khaki shirt, because they put the crest on the shirt. I said, why can't we just
buy the crest?
Buy the crest? Mm-hmm. No, we have to buy the shirt. Here's the shirt for a size 12 shirt. $3,000.
Wow.
When I purchased a suit for the child, it's like 3,000 something for the suit, because I know where I bought it and they gave me discount.
Mm-hmm.
Nicola says she has written to the Ministry of Education about the matter, seeking intervention. In the letter, Nicola informed the ministry that she was able to purchase a full uniform set for just over $4,000 from a retail outlet. She says the shirt in those suits at the outlet costs just over $1,600. Yet she says one shirt with an attached crest at the school is costing $3,000. According to her, the move by the school places an unnecessary financial burden on parents and guardians, and she says she's pushing back against the mandatory purchase policy at the school. Those are the headlines at 6. I'm Mahiri Stewart. Sports is next.
From the biggest tracks to the biggest energy, Nationwide keeps it moving. If you love the vibes, come and lock in with us for real.
World boss, leave a prison could stop me.
Join the Nationwide 90 FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Practice. God, me say you watch you off, me practice.
The Festival and Things edition of the PBCJ Watch Party, Saturday, August 8 at PBCJ, 5 to 9 South Odeon Avenue. Vintage Jamaica Festival videos and performances by four-time festival song winner Roy Rayon. The Nexus Performing Arts Company, Blacka Ellis and Dion Silvera. MC Faye Ellington. Exciting Vendors Village opens at 4:30 with everything Jamaican. Showtime 6 p.m. The Festival and Things edition of the PBCJ Watch Party, supported by JCDC, Phase 3 Productions, Heritage Singers, Incognito Vacation Stay, the Office of the Supervisor of Insolvency, and the Office of the Government Trustee. Wear Jamaican colors. Parking at Skateland, right across from Mandela Park.
Get ready for the Kingston Bookshop Grand Back to School Fair, powered by Nationwide 90 FM. Join us Saturday, August 15 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 31 East Tradeway, Portmore. Enjoy free admission, free back to school medicals for students, exciting special discounts, free rides, vendor booths, special performances, and the chance to win in-store prizes and surprises. Don't miss this fun-filled day for the entire family. Prepare for the new school year with Kingston Bookshop. For more information, visit Kingston Bookshop on Facebook and Instagram. See you there!
Hey, turn up to 25. Turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation, all inclusive flex? Yeah. I touch a million cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winning this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Good evening with your sports report. I am Alex Raby. We bowl things off with some cricket as Jamaica Kingsmen and Antigua and Barbuda Falcons are currently meeting in the first match of the 2026 Caribbean Premier League at Honest Vale in St. Vincent. The Falcons won the toss and elected to bowl first. Prior to the match, a minute of silence was observed paying respect to the late great Sir Garfield Sobers. The Kingsmen are captained by Rodman Powell while the Falcons are led by Fabian Allen. The occasion marks the first time a CPL fixture is being played at this venue. The West Indies head coach Darren Sammy has identified second innings batting as a key area for improvement following the regional side's international home campaign, which concluded with a hard-fought 1-1 Test series draw against Pakistan in Trinidad. Despite securing a share of the series, Sammy believes the team must become more consistent in the latter stages of Test matches if they are to compete successfully against higher-ranked opponents.
So I'm really proud of the men over the home summer in Test cricket. But all in all, some of the things that we achieved at home. We got batsmen scoring runs. We definitely got to work on our second innings total a lot more. But because of our consistent first innings totals, it has put us in positions to win games. And we keep getting 20 wickets in a Test match, something I'm proud of. So I could see the progress and what success means to us as a Test team, and I'm looking forward to finish up the year in Bangladesh with that Test team.
The West Indies now shift their focus to a demanding overseas schedule. The Caribbean side will next be in action in September when they travel to India for a white ball series featuring one-day internationals and T20 internationals. Following the Indian tour, the Test squad will head to Bangladesh for a 2-match Test series that will bring the current ICC World Test Championship cycle to a close for the West Indies. Sammy says the Bangladesh series is expected to provide the Caribbean side with an opportunity to finish the championship campaign on a positive note.
If we could go to Bangladesh and win that series, that would be a good icing on the cake. And what I said earlier is understanding what success means for the team. I'm one who never hung my hat higher than my head. And, we explain to the guys what the goals are. And I think that's key for us in the dressing room to understand what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to go about doing that.
Darren Sammy. Now to some track and field, as Jamaica's sprint and hurdles contingent produced another impressive showing on day 3 of the 5-day World Athletics Under-20 Championships at Hayward Field on Friday, with several athletes securing places in the semi-finals of their respective events. In the women's 100 meters hurdles, Akila Bell booked her place in the next round after finishing 4th in Heat 5 in 13.46 seconds. Joining her in the semifinals was Tiana Marshall, who delivered one of the standout performances of the opening round by winning Heat 6 in 13.10 seconds. The men's 110 meters hurdles also saw 2 Jamaican progress. Marquis Pays finished second in Heat 4 with a time of 13.34 seconds to qualify comfortably, while Taj O'Neill Gordon advanced after placing second in Heat 5 in 13.49 seconds. Jamaica's women's sprinters were equally impressive in the 200 meters, with both athletes topping their heats. Shoshana Johnson stormed to victory in Heat 1, clocking a personal best 22.95 seconds to secure automatic qualification for the semifinals. Shania Douglas was even quicker, winning Heat 3 in 22.88 seconds. There was a mixed fortune for Jamaica in the men's 200 meters. First from claiming the silver in Thursday's 100 meters final, Gary Codd saw his hopes of a sprint double end when he was disqualified from Heat 3. However, Nathaniel Martin kept Jamaica's challenge alive by finishing 3rd in Heat 6 in 21 seconds flat to book his place in the semi-finals. Now, distinguished track and field coach Michael Carr has been awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Officer OD for his outstanding contribution to sports, particularly athletics. Carr is among 4 Jamaicans recognized for their achievements in the field of sports as part of this year's National Honors and Awards. The other recipients are Howard McIntosh, David Sanguinetti, and Donald Walters. As head coach of Wolmer's Girls' School, he is credited with helping to shape the early career of world and Olympic champion Shelley Fraser-Price during her junior years. Carr is currently serving with Jamaica's national team at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships, where he continues to mentor the country's next generation of athletes.
It is an honor when you're recognized by your country. It means that you have been doing something that the country appreciates, and I guess also the world. And it's good to be recognized when you have the chance of hearing, seeing, and feeling the recognition. I mean, after over 40 years in the sport, it's a good feeling. It's also motivating to say, keep going until. So once again, thanks to the powers that be that saw it fit to hand me such a recognition.
Michael Carr. Meanwhile, McIntosh has been awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander CD for his contribution to sport. Sanguinetti received the Badge of Honor for meritorious service for his service to sport, particularly in the era of tennis. And Walters was also presented with the Badge of Honor for meritorious service in recognition of his contribution to sports. Now, the landscape at Waves Negril was transformed into a sea of black and gold and green as 2 exciting early morning sporting events, Sands and Surf, brought athletes and spectators together along Negril's world-famous 7-mile beach. With the support of Kaizen Swim Club and Negril Waves Runners Swim Club, the inaugural open water swim was successfully staged on the pristine white sands and crystal clear waters of Negril. Competitors took on what could easily be described as one of Jamaica's finest open water swimming courses. The 1-kilometer race featured a 500-meter loop beginning at the Waves Complex and extending through the calm turquoise waters along the coastline of Coco La Palm Hotel before returning to the finish. Representing Kaizen Swim Club, Zanita Alvaranga emerged as the overall winner of the open water swim. Aquatic Sports Association of Jamaica President Lance Rochester secured 2nd place overall, while Johnny Walker of Negril Wave Runners Swim Club completed the podium finish. The accompanying 5K beach shot saw the Guyanet family dominate the podium. Julian Guyanet claimed 1st place, followed by his sons Idris in 2nd and Simba in 3rd, completing an impressive family sweep. Rochester gave the event his blessings.
amazing event. Love it. Kingston is not Jamaica. We are 100% on board with that. So we are very proud of the work that is being done by Alison and her team and Waves. It's safe swimming on island, and that's the mission that we're on. So we're pleased to support it in any way possible.
With the relocation of the Reggae Marathon to Kingston, coach of Kaizen, Rory Alvaranga, believed the sands and surf competition could fill the void.
With the marathon and stuff no longer here, we could definitely have an international event right here.
Now to some horse racing, as Jamaica's Abigail Abel wrote her name in the history books on Independence Day at Caymanas Park as she became the first female jockey to ride in the Jamaica Derby in its 106-year history. Abel was aboard Eye of a Tiger, which finished 7th after setting the fractions early in the event. According to Abel, despite finishing outside of a podium spot, she's pleased that stablemate London Spirit managed to win the prestigious event.
Honestly, I'm super proud, and congrats to the trainer, the jockey, the owner, and also the group. So earlier on, before the race, me and the trainer, we had a discussion. Yeah, the trainer said, break, go in front, don't rush him, but you can claim the lead because you are the speed. So that was exactly what I did. And go around, they were there, and I was just doing my thing.
Abel is known for making history at this track as she became the first female jockey to ride in the Diamond Mile in 2019. She added that at the 3-furlong pole, she realized that Eye of a Tiger had run out of steam.
About the 3 furlong then. Because about the 3 furlong, more start drying, so I realized, all right, then this is him.
Abigail Abel. Now, 4-time champion trainer Jason DaCosta explained that it was a strategic execution that did the trick in the 106th running of the Jamaica Derby at Caymanas Park on Independence Day. Ridden by terrific Tevin Foster, London Spirit managed to clip a stablemate Maverick at the wire in what was a thrilling race. According to DaCosta, the pre-race plan worked out exactly as the team envisioned.
I had a few closers. I sent I had the Tiger to the lead with Abigail able to set the pace, and it worked out beautifully. Well, the instructions I gave him was that he must start on the pace. So I knew he was going to be the first one to pounce on them, and London Spirit to close it.
Heading into the Derby, London Spirit had only one win in his last 13 races. According to DaCosta, this horse could be described as a late bloomer. He added that Jockey Foster was superb during the Derby.
He had no issue. He was just a very immature 2-year-old, immature early 3-year-old, and he's just now coming to himself. The last month, he surprised us in the St. Leger. He was the only one coming home, and since the St. Leger, he worked like an A-class horse coming into this race. I was always quietly confident. Well, it was a good ride. I know he got into some traffic problems on the back stretch, but he really produced him and brought him home. Elated. There's no words for it. I'm just grateful. Congrats to Watt, and this one is all for him. So, yeah, man. And thank you to the whole crew for all the hard work put in.
Jason DaCosta, I'm Alex Ribby, and that's your sports.
Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, is a financial reporting firm that delivers accounting and compliance services on time. Call us today at 876-908-0486-7. Email us at clientservices@cocnjamaica.com or visit our website at www.cocnjamaica.com. COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology and integrity.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
If you've ever called in, shared your story, or got help on this show, then you're already family. Now make it official. Join the nationwide 90FM Family Club today on Patreon.
Get ready this Saturday for the PBCJ Watch Party, a celebration of Jamaica's festival heritage. Nationwide 90 FM will be at 5 to 9 South Odeon Avenue in Halfway Tree, on location from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. to bring an evening packed with the nation's most memorable festival moments through music and television.
Oh, 22 years salute. We are no more little youth.
So tune in this Saturday, August 8th from 6 to 9 p.m. and experience the Festival and Things edition of the PBCJ Watch Party. Hear live performances from four-time festival song winner Roy Rayan, Nexus Performing Arts Company, plus the unforgettable Owen Blacker Ellis and Dion Silvera. All this and more only on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
We put the faith and trust in the Father. He's keeping us alive, so give thanks and praise.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Lone vibes, lone laughs, and lone entertainment. Come on the road with we. Cause when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. We forget to big up my DJ. DJ Jerome, the shell boss, I'm gonna make it bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tunes. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Come into the parlor. There's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 7 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 7 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Good evening, listeners and viewers. Welcome back. It is time for the nation's business, and we are talking domestic violence this evening, and more specifically domestic violence within the confines of a marriage, because JFJ, that's Jamaicans for Justice, are calling for a clear definition of domestic violence and the criminalization of marital rape as key reforms for the Domestic Violence Act. JFJ Executive Director Mikel Jackson made the point in a video posted on JFJ's Instagram page on Wednesday.
The Act doesn't define what is domestic violence, and without that definition, it really limits how one views what types of protection orders are to be issued. The issue of marital rape, it's not within the Domestic Violence Act, but that is something that we really do need to get rid of from our law. In 2018, there was a Joint Select Committee report that recommended marital rape to be removed. We heard the Foreign Minister some time ago, a few years ago, saying that this year is going to be the year that the marital rape provisions will be removed. It's now 2026, it has not yet been removed.
The Joint Select Committee set up to review the Domestic Violence Act last met on July 30. Lawmakers have pledged to complete a comprehensive review of the legislation during the new parliamentary year. Ms. Jackson says the revised law should also establish a clear protocol for obtaining protection orders.
Some of JFJ's clients for whom we provide support, you go to one court, you hear that this is the procedure that you must follow to get an occupational protection order. You go to another court, it's another procedure. We can't say that there is administration of justice when there's inconsistency. The issuing of the protection and occupation orders, it takes far too long, and we need to remedy that with some sense of urgency. Though the penalties for protection order was increased, it really does not extend to the breach if one were to do that for the occupation order. So those inconsistencies need to be dealt with the comprehensive review of the Domestic Violence Act.
That's Mikel Jackson, Executive Director of JFJ. Well, joining us to speak more on the issues are Government Senator Shireen Golding Campbell, Senior Attorney Bert Samuels, and Gender Development Specialist Dr. Nadine Spence. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
Greetings. You said gentleman, but it's one man.
Good evening.
Good evening to you all. So an interesting, the nexus of this discussion this evening, ladies and gentlemen, is when this was initially put to me, I spoke to my producer. Is this controversial still? This notion of whether a man could rape his wife or his spouse, rather, or whether a spouse, that's not limited to gender, or whether a spouse could be raped. Is that still a controversial matter? Doesn't it simply mean that standard laws in terms of sexual assault and rape should apply if someone has simply not consented? And, well, the responses from some of my co-workers and some of the female co-workers as well shocked me. So I suppose it is still a controversial topic. So I bring you in, Shireen Golding Campbell, on this matter, based on what Mikel Jackson is calling for, the criminalization of spousal rape. That's how I'm going to use the term, rather let's call it marital, spousal rape. Do you believe that under the circumstances it needs a specific criminal code?
Devon, I'm sorry I'm not going to come down with the most definitive position on it. I start from the position of what is rape under the law as it exists now. And rape under the law as it exists now deals with intercourse that is unwanted, i.e. without the consent of the woman.
Yes.
And so if we start from that point, then it is possible, certainly, for a married woman to be in a position where she has not consented to the act and she is forcibly engaged in intercourse. So that's my starting point. But I do recognize that the issue is not a simple one. I also consider the principle of a woman having autonomy over her body.
Yes.
And if she says no, and if the man knows that it is no, that any action after that to force her to have intercourse is certainly a violation of her autonomy. And under law, no, if we're talking about rape generally, it would be rape. Now, how we deal with the issue in terms of legislation is where I can't say to you, this is how we should deal with it, because I recognize that there are some other issues other than autonomy. Autonomy of your body is one thing, but then the question of the state coming into the marital relationship, the evidentiary problems in determining whether or not rape has occurred between a husband and a wife. I recognize those as issues that we have to review, confront, in order to determine the best legislative way forward.
It's a reasonably complicated issue, Shireen Golding Campbell. I definitely agree with you, Senator. Ladies and gentlemen, please stay with us. We're up on a quick break and we'll be right back.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is...
It's 6:33. Welcome back, listeners and viewers, to The Nation's Business. We are talking the matters of domestic violence. The advocacy group, Jamaicans for Justice, calling for the criminalization of marital rape and a clear definition of domestic violence as key reforms under the Domestic Violence Act. To discuss that, we have with us Government Senator Shireen Golding Campbell, Senior Attorney Bert Samuels, and Gender Development Specialist Dr. Nadine Spence. So I bring you in, Dr. Spence, because, as I said, when I voiced my opinion in the newsroom, it brought back more controversy than I thought it would actually, because clearly in my mind, as long as the person is not consenting, whether it's within the confines of a marriage or not, that as long as the person is not consenting, then it should be considered a matter of sexual assault or rape. But certainly others disagree with that assessment by me, and among those who disagreed were quite a few women who disagreed with that assessment. So, Nadine Spence, does that shock you? As Shireen has pointed out, that clearly there are some aspects that as a culture, socially, we need to work through before we can actually put this down and put pen to paper.
That doesn't shock me. But remember, we don't live in a world where men automatically believe one thing and women automatically believe one thing, right? So the existing framework which we are seeking to navigate and perhaps change now suggests that sexual consent within marriage is always given. That marriage presents a framework within which no or a lack of consent doesn't work, doesn't apply, right? And that's what some people believe, regardless of their gender. A lot of people believe that. But there are some people who believe that this shouldn't be so. And in fact, the Jamaican government, I don't remember the year, was it about 2018 or so on, had put together a joint select committee of Parliament. And I remember presenting at that joint select committee, and at that time had publicly committed to removing the conditions which stated that married and unmarried women shouldn't have the same access to rights in marriage over their bodies. That was taken at a joint select committee. What the government needed to do was to come up with a date to enact that decision that was agreed on from the 2018 Joint Select Committee, which was reviewing the Sexual Offences Act. We had gone past the matter of trying to figure out where we would sit on that discussion, on that matter, because it was agreed that married and unmarried women would have the same rights as it relates to the autonomy over their bodies. Of course, this is the matter of marital rape isn't addressed in the Domestic Violence Act.
No.
And so when that issue was dealt with at that Joint Select Committee, that decision was made, and the government assured us. 2018, I remember discussing it on TV and on radio around the time of COVID, when the report was tabled and it was agreed, and it made headlines, Jamaica, all of the things. And now but I noticed that we keep having this discussion over and over again as if that matter wasn't resolved. But I guess part of the reason why we're having that discussion is because the government hasn't really moved to making that decision a part of the legislative arrangement.
And that's where I want to bring you in, Bert Samuels. You are the legal luminary here, and I highlight a court case back from 1992, RVR, and that was the one that specifically in the United Kingdom outlawed the notion of essential full access. It suggests that you cannot, you give complete consent to your spouse once you've agreed to a marriage. Once a bond of marriage is done, you give complete consent to your spouse to sexual activity. But this court ruling back in 1992 said that is balderdash. No, not in terms of a modern interpretation of the statute. It should be, even under those circumstances, the woman has bodily autonomy and she does not give complete universal consent. If that is the precedent already set, do we actually then need a law change here in Jamaica, or is it more a cultural change that's needed?
Well, you know, one has to look at the history of marriage, and remember back in the 18th century, a woman was seen as property, and therefore a woman could go to court. Women were not employed, they were not allowed to vote or work. And therefore, you had a duty as a man to support your wife and give her financial support. And therefore, that was akin to property. Irrespective of her ability to support herself, a man had a duty to maintain his wife. So the law moved from that. And then we already have on the books that a man can be guilty of raping his wife. It is there. What the JFJ position is that there are 6 conditions which the court says the rape can take place. And one is, for example, if he has a communicable disease and he's aware of it and he has sex, then it is rape. It can be deemed to be rape. And there are other conditions if a divorce has been filed and an annulment has been filed. And so there are 6 conditions which makes it rape. But what the JFJ wants is that we should remove those 6 conditions and let it be just like any other rape. The absence of consent, period. That's it.
Yes.
So that's where we are, whether we should have it that way or not. And interestingly, you have said that there are women in your debate, in your studio, who feel that it should not be, that, you know, they should not look at it as the same way as another kind of relationship. So that is why we have a parliament, that we have parliamentarians voting on the law, and that makes it very good. But I tell you this is why I support trial by jury, because I would not want a single judge to be pronouncing on a case when a wife makes that complaint. I prefer a group like the people in your office sitting down and giving a verdict when it is. And we should remember that we should not have a minimum sentence for this. I think after the jury has found the husband guilty, then the circumstances should determine what punishment the husband gets. So, yes, I'm supporting that consent. It should come down to consent, because particularly with the communicable disease, that's so awful. And when AIDS came around, it took the front page. You know, what about women who her husband knows that he has AIDS and he has sex with her? There had to be a law that protects women. So the bottom line is, yes, consent like any other measure, but I want a jury to determine guilt, and I want no minimum sentences. The judge must be free to impose what sentence they feel in the circumstances should be imposed. Let's hope I don't get in trouble now.
So you believe there should be a certain level of discretion?
In sentencing, and not a single judge. I don't want the experience of one person to pronounce upon rape in a marital situation. I think that we should have 6 members of the jury, 5 members of the jury, or 7 pronouncing on it. So we have the collective experience of the ordinary person looking at the situation. Because that part of the apprehension that some women have is that, what if a woman out of malice just cries rape by her husband? And that is known. I mean, I know that there are situations where a woman will say her husband points a gun at her, which is a total fabrication just to get him in trouble. So we have to be careful. And rape is funny because it's the say-so of the person, you know. So it's not something that you can prove physically. If the police takes ganja off me, they take it to the lab and prove that this is ganja. It's his word against hers, and that's opening a floodgate for malicious reports.
And Shireen Goldenkamp, that's where I want to bring you in, because it seems myself and Bert agree that it really should just come down to a normal rape statute that under the circumstances, as long as consent has not been given by the spouse, it should be treated as a sexual assault. But certainly, as I said, there are people within even this newsroom, and I'm not talking people at my age and up, I'm talking young liberal women who are of the view that maybe there is not necessarily a case for rape here, because maybe I can't even fathom the thinking, but clearly that the thinking there is enough for a controversy to exist. So I ask you, Shireen Golden Campbell, under the circumstances, if it is a matter where it is the involvement of a spouse, does it need a specific criminal code attached to it beyond just suggesting that it is a matter of sexual assault that should be dealt with on the same guidelines of consent versus lack of consent?
Devon, I find myself exercising a similar caution to my senior counsel because, you know, certainly I don't think if you poll married women that you will find many of them who can say that they have never had a situation where they submitted to sexual intercourse when they didn't want to or didn't feel like, right? And the question of malice is a question of concern. Many women can, in a marital situation, may have been in situations where their husband wanted intercourse and they didn't want intercourse, but they did not protest.
Yes.
Yes.
Not that they gave consent, but that they did not protest. Right? And the question of malice then arises. If having done that, they get up the next morning and they say, well, this was a malicious act and he has raped me. That's one scenario. But then there are many women who get up the next morning and carry on smartly and they may be vexed for a couple of weeks or a couple of days or whatever. And the marital relationship right sizes itself. It does not mean that it is a insidious relationship necessarily. I think when you're talking about the marital situation, we really have to. And I heard Bert talking about the question of, he would prefer this to be a jury question, and I agree with him. But I go further in terms of the legislative exercise. If we are to really remove the conditions that now exist, I would want, not for us as parliamentarians to be sitting in this room making a decision for the rest of women in Jamaica, the rest of married women, but for us to have deep and engaging discussions with the people to hear their views and to hear the circumstances under which they would consider marital rape an issue that needed to be legislated. And again, I am really not falling on one side or the other, and I apologize for that. I really prefer to be more definitive about an issue. But the truth of the matter is that I cannot pronounce for all married women. I myself have been a married woman and for quite some years. And so I know the nuances of marriage, and I know the vexations that can arise in marriage. And I know, too, that there can be vexation to the level of malice. So how do we, as a state, legislate relationships when it comes to intercourse, whether with consent, without consent, with consent not given, but protestation not delivered? That's a really tricky situation, and I think we need to have deeper conversations with the society, with married women and men, to really come to a legislative position on it. It's not as black and white, I think, as JSJ would like to make it out to be.
Dr. Nadine Spence, final word to you based on the assessments provided by both Shireen Golding Campbell and the Honorable Bert Samuels there. This seems to be far more trickier and a more...
not for me, For me, it is simply this. Do all women, regardless of their marital status, deserve the same protection in law against rape? If you are saying to me that because you're married, consent doesn't mean the same thing, then I might say, no, I don't think so. I think regardless of my marital status, whether I'm single or married, I should be able to access the same protections in law. And sometimes we find it hard to imagine because we are in a functional marriage. But most of the time, we're not talking about functional marriages where people can settle their differences and settle their conflicts, right? And sometimes those of us who have found a methodology to settle differences in a relationship, whether we're married or not, find it hard to imagine a situation where a woman could say, my husband raped me. But when we are talking about a situation like this one, we're past the stage where this is considered a functional marriage. I find it hard to imagine that a couple engage in a functional marriage where respect is present, where man and woman knows how to communicate, will get to that point where the wife who wants to sustain her marriage or the husband who wants to sustain his marriage and are involved in a good, healthy relationship with the kinds of differences and back and forth that one can imagine in such a relationship, would get to the point where they say, where the wife says, my husband raped me. Doesn't sound to me like that is a functional marriage. We're talking about those women who will need that kind of protection.
But yet, Nadine, as I said, I support your position on this, Nadine, but when it was put to women, young, liberal, intelligent, educated women, they suggested that marriage changes the equation somewhat.
But doesn't change the fact that there are still some women who need the protection of the law. Even if some women disagree, there's a fallacy in our argument, you know. The fallacy is we seem to think that if women agree that something is okay, then it is okay for all women. It might be okay for some women, but not for everybody. And it's not our job to generalize the law such that those who you can call them on the outskirts of society who need its protection cannot access it. I don't think that's the kind of society we're vying for. I think we should try to create the kind of legal system where those who need the protection of the law can access the protection of the law.
I think that was well put. That is Gender Development Specialist Dr. Nadine Spence. We had with us Senior Attorney Bert Samuels and Government Senator Shireen Golding Campbell. Ladies, gentlemen, it is always a pleasure talking to you. You really bring some serious insights to a lot of these topics. Thank you once again. We take a quick break, listeners, and then we come back with Around the World.
Turn up to 25, turn up to 25. Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah, I touch a million cash. Yes, smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winning this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM, top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher, a smartphone deal, or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Welcome back to Around the World, ladies and gentlemen, where the University of Cambridge will review its process for appointing senior academics following the resignation of Jason Arday in the midst of a plagiarism row. The institution said findings from an investigation into the education professor's academic qualifications and appointments would, quote, feed into a new review on the appointment process for senior academic roles. Arday has also faced accusations of fabricating or exaggerating elements of his CV. He has defended himself and his work, with attention now turning to Cambridge's handling of concerns and his upcoming memoir. More in this report from Channel 4 News.
Jason Arday was once the darling of academia. Now he's resigned amid scandal. A string of allegations regarding plagiarism and tall tales raised questions about himself, Cambridge University, and higher learning in general. Arday became the youngest black professor in Cambridge's history in 2023. A stunning achievement for someone who said he was mute until 11, has struggled with his autism, and left school with 2 GCSEs.
I went to university at 20, but had the reading age of a 9-year-old. You know, so you're trying to really kind of...
Really? I mean, is that possible?
Yeah, it is. Muhammad Ali spoke about this idea of will versus skill. Now, I don't have any skill, but what I do have is an indomitable will.
Concerns about Arday's credentials as a professor of sociology of education have swirled around Cambridge's spires for years, but they came back to the fore recently. Writing on Substack, a self-described race realist Nathan Kofnas wrote, "I was recently contacted by a faculty member at Cambridge who alleges that Arday is a plagiarist and fabulist. He added, I ran Arday's 2015 PhD dissertation through the plagiarism detection program CopyLeaks. It found substantial overlap with previously published work." That dissertation was submitted to Liverpool John Moores University. They said a confidential procedure had been conducted and that Arday's PhD still stood. But 2 of his articles in journals have been corrected in recent years following further claims of plagiarism, with Arday admitting to referencing errors. Cambridge University had begun an investigation, as had his college, Jesus. But then Arday resigned, criticising an unrelenting level of scrutiny and attacks. Arday said that while criticism is inevitable, what I have experienced has gone far beyond scholarly disagreement. The relentless accusation, speculation, and public commentary have taken a profound toll on me and on those I love. He said the resignation should not be mistaken for an acceptance of the narratives that have surrounded me. The allegation is that conservative figures are taking down black academics in their war on diversity. Kofnas, who wrote that original Substack about Arday, has himself been criticised for his views on race and academia, which have been described as deeply offensive. If your concern is about a very important issue of plagiarism, are you not concerned that those figures on the right are actually using this to not address something like that? They're using it to attack diversity, to attack sociology, to attack universities themselves?
Well, that's possibly true, but what's the best defence against that? The best defence against that is, for me, is to maintain academic standards. And sociology does have academic standards, and they need to be maintained.
But another history professor at Cambridge was found to have plagiarised and remained in post just a few years ago. Why was that not front page news? And is there a wider concern here about plagiarism at a time when there is a financial crisis at universities?
They have to publish articles in the best journals to almost survive these calls of redundancies. Does that mean there's a lot more plagiarism? Well, I'm sure there is pressure on some academics to look at other people's work.
Plagiarism is generally taken the least seriously. A lot of charges have been raised, they've been confirmed, and many people remain in their position.
Why is plagiarism not taken that seriously?
I don't have a good answer for that, honestly. Part of it is there's the ability to deny it and say, oh, this was just a little bit of sloppiness.
But there were wider concerns with Professor Arday. Talking to The Guardian, he said a pig's head was once sent to his parents' address and that police looked into the matter. But the Met said no investigation had taken place. And his Cambridge faculty page said he had visiting professorships at Glasgow and Ohio State universities. Both institutions have now said they have no records of Arday holding such positions.
Honestly, I would say it taints the reputation of all academics and folks in these embattled humanities fields.
But is the concern there that that he's letting figures down? Or is it that other figures, black, ethnic minority, are looking at this and saying, the minute you put your head above the parapet, you are hounded and hounded?
There's a bit of both in that, but he was put up as the poster boy by Cambridge in his biography and by the people who appointed him then. I'm going back again to the...
So Cambridge has more to answer than him.
Cambridge has something to answer for this, yeah.
Arday has...
So there you have it, listeners. I think I've said it before on this program, and I don't want to tie it into race or other certain situations, but it plays out. It's unavoidable that it does play into the narrative, and I've said it before. If you are seeking certain positions, if you are seeking to set yourself above others, you should always ensure that you are above reproach. It is a necessary thing to survive in the modern world. And I think more people need to heed that advice and understand that everything you say and everything you do will be scrutinized and put through the ringer. If you're uncertain about something, ensure that you have the facts straight so that it can face that scrutiny when it comes later. So I'll leave that there, listeners, and I thank you all for joining me again for Nationwide at 5. Stay tuned for the cover story with Shalois Michael and Mahiri. I said the cover story. The comment section with Shalois Michael and Mahiri Stewart. Thanks to our technical operator Andrew the Glen, the big man, the Boogs Anderson, or producer Dana, the Supergirl Davy, and her technical assistant Rihanna Fullerton. The best news and production department led by the very capable Cara Powell. And as always, a special shout out to our YouTubers Mikel, Ciablo, Carleen, Blessed Marcia, Favor, Dennis Barnaby, Nathan, Gail, Carrick Shan, all of you. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be your host this evening. I'm Siobhan Campbell.
Step into the future of Kingston business.